Alright, response video to Holiday, I suppose, mostly. So anyway, he did an interesting video with his new Pepe. Yeah, the cuteness factor. That's sort of the subject, is what does all this psychological crap add up to in terms of trying to find logical solutions to life. And so he was talking about Star Trek and the Prime Directive crap, and this what would your motivation in encountering the universe, meeting it, doing something with it, and how are you to figure out what your best move is, what you step on, and what you fertilize, what you help and what you don't. It's really difficult to answer these questions. He brought the example of the last Star Trek or something where a volcano was going to blow up some monkeys, and the argument being, oh yeah, well, you save them, but that's logical. But then you might be just saving them to become some menace to the universe. They could become Klingons, and just be a horrible blight and cause hundreds of thousands of years of terror in the universe, and annihilate millions of other civilizations and blah 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 blah. So interference is always tricky. Just the nature of it, is you don't know all the model resolutions. And I guess what I would say is that we can know some things about where our models go, though. They always go to, you're dead. You're done. The universe doesn't like you, and it will exterminate you through some process of the universe. It just seems inevitable. Even if you're in a nice, peaceful galaxy, it's eventually going to crash into some other galaxy, and it's going to nebula, and it's going to do all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of rays of radiation that fly around in the universe now and then and just annihilate everything in their path, particularize it. So let's not pretend that there's an end game, because I don't think there is. And where, like I said, what would the end game be described as? Some psychological state of being. So, we get a bunch of biological organisms to go, and there, we've done our job. All of this was worth it, because we got to a place where we said, puppy, puppy, puppy. I don't think so. So I just asked, just thoughts that came to my mind. Say if there was aliens and they arrived on Earth back when Whitey was, exterminating the Native Americans, should the aliens have intervened? Should they have distorted the Industrial Revolution and in turn distorted how we acquire the bomb? I mean, we got lucky with the bomb, right? It happened in a okay-ish kind of way, in a sense, right? Bad guys didn't get the bomb first, so to speak. Yes, we only dropped 2 of them. Only. So was there some other scenario for us to acquire the bomb in a lucky manner like that? Lucky? Huh? Certainly you could say, yeah, there's ways we could have done it where no bombs are dropped, but there's ways we could have done it where many, many, many bombs would have been dropped. So, interference isn't all that it's cracked up to be. What if the aliens showed up back in the old Neanderthal days when, Whitey was again doing his thing? Should they have intervened and saved Neanderthal? So besides all the racial diversity we have that causes all this strife and stress and stupidity, we'd have a species, differential. We'd actually be able to call somebody a subhuman. Would that be, it'd be technically accurate. The old version, Human 1.0. Where would that go? So anyway, It all becomes blight. And we can pretend it's something else, but it's all blight. So anyway, so I guess you just say this is like an ambition thing. So we have this ambition thing to be something rather than nothing. And we have it because we're psychology addicted to shit, attached to our existence, attached to the notion that we're doing something just because it makes it feel good to do something when you think it's for a purpose. And but it's not going to be. It can't hold up to any kind of logical scrutiny. It's just bliss-making, comfort-taking. There really isn't anything to do here but acquire technological tools so we can go, puppy, puppy, in a nice comfy chair, because that's all there really is, right? It's all focused on some sort of qualitative human experience, and we've been there and done them all over and over and over again. You can't. You're not helping anybody, by saving them in a sense. So that's, if you were to write a list of prime directives, what would they be? I mean, Star Treks are kind of lame, but I would argue they're lame because there isn't any unlame prime directive. I mean, you could have first, do no harm. Well, what the fuck does that mean? And then you could have the second directive would be, prevent harm. Well, then you're back to this chicken-egg thing again. Chickens get into so much trouble. Maybe we should be squishing eggs. So what are we doing, though? We're just avoiding being nothing. And so we're saying anything is better than nothing. And that's about all we're doing. We're chasing a gratification that requires the existence of a deprivation to start with. You have to need it, want it, and be desperate. Ooh, I got a sore nipple. Anyway, want it, and, a bunch of mosquito bites. It's just really irritable. So I don't know when they got it. I guess it has to be the day before yesterday for it to be this bothersome now. So I definitely made a mistake. I got them in lots of little sensitive areas. Sensitive area. Anyway. Where was I? Yeah, I'm trying to make my bliss thing. Anyway, just grit your teeth and bear it. Get through the day. Yeah, I'm all itchy. So what's this peak performance thing? What's the peak performance for a biological organism? And I could almost argue that little warm puppy sleeping that's peak performance. It doesn't get any better than that, buddy. Maybe maybe a little sleep after the after sleep, then you're getting both. You've had your little super bliss and then your after bliss. And there's nowhere else to go but mind simplification, peace, ease of mind. The rest of it's work. The rest of it is difficult and angst-producing and irritable-ing. It's mosquito-bitey. It's itchy. It's an itchy feeling. You like to do that kind of thing, call something an itch, or use the metaphors. But I mean, that's all it is. The rest of it's some sort of problem needing solved. Oh, there's still a problem needing solving. There's still a problem needing solving. Yes, it's motivating. It can be, I guess, self-gratifying to, if your psychology needs to be useful and needs to find a purpose to say you're really cool, or you don't, look stupid and smell lousy. So if you need something to build you up, maybe you can do it through that. But what else is happening here? Again, what is peak performance for a biological organism? What is a peak state of being? There isn't any. There's failure, but it's all made out of a need that doesn't need to exist, and it's just a fairy tale to think you can interfere, and make it all right. Can you make it less wrong? I mean, you might be able to, but you might make it more wrong. So again, you're stuck with this question: do you have a right to decide who gets tortured? Oh, so instead of annihilating that species, they'll annihilate that species because of my interference. So anyway, I guess I'm just saying that logically, the game we're playing is not the reason to play the game isn't in the game. It isn't built into the game. There's no logic to be gleaned out of the game, because the game is basically just a victim of our existence. It's a delusion, all of its projection, all the reasons the game is played are projections of our needs, our wants, onto the thing, onto the board. There's nothing else running this machine except our need to run. Nothing else running this machine except our need to run. Yeah, it might be good enough. So maybe I'll leave it there. Quit while I'm ahead. So anyway, yeah, so just this idea of if you were to draw up, a prime directive for an existence, what's it going to be? And how like I said, all interference just means you're going to change who gets tortured, maybe. That's hardly good enough. So I guess unless your interference is really going to do something like preventing harm, and obviously preventing harm, I'm going to argue the easiest way to prevent harm is don't let the monsters loose. Yeah, it's just don't. Don't make anything that needs comfort, and you won't have to pay the price of comfort. Don't make anything that needs comfort, and you won't have to pay the price of comfort. It's another pretty good one. Maybe I'll stop on that one. I believe I will. So, until next time, it's such. Cute puppy. Cute puppy.